In this video, I'm going to show you what a power of free model is and how you can use it. So a power of free model starts with accumulation, and accumulation is also called consolidation, and that's where price just moves up and down in the same range. After the original consolidation, we want to see a manipulation. The manipulation move is whenever price manipulates out of this consolidation range and then back into the range again. The reason price manipulates out of the range is because it wants to take out sell side liquidity and then move higher. After the manipulation, we want to see distribution. Distribution is price reacting off of the manipulation move we made. So whenever we take out, let's say, sell side liquidity in the manipulation move, we want to react to that manipulation move in the distribution. A trade entry would either be in the manipulation or in the distribution. If you were to take a trade in the manipulation, it will look something like this. So let's say we take out sell side liquidity or touch any PD array and then start having a bullish reaction. Then we could take a trade entry right when we get into the original consolidation, because then we know there's going to be distribution. You could also take a trade entry right when we touch the PD array. If you were to take a trade entry in the distribution, you want to look for any form of PD array. So let's say we have a fair value gap right here, and this fair value gap combines with a breaker, so that makes a unicorn model. As you see, we have a low, high, lower low, higher high, and then we want to see a fair value gap in this breaker. You can also use daily candles to find a power of free model. So when you want to use daily candles, you want to see a open, low, high, close, and whenever we open, you want to see consolidation in the Asian session, and then in the London session, you want to see manipulation out of the Asian session and then go back into the Asian session again. And in the New York session, you want to see a distribution. So this is our first chart example. And as you see right here, we have consolidation or accumulation. So now that we have accumulation, we want to see a manipulation. And the manipulation move would most likely be to the downside because we have sell side liquidity. So let's see what happens. So right here, we take out the sell side liquidity and exiting the original consolidation. So now we want to see price going back into this consolidation. So right here, we move back into the consolidation. So this would be our manipulation move. So now that we have consolidation and manipulation, we want to see distribution. And this was our distribution. A trade entry would probably look something like this. And your entry would be right when we close back into the original consolidation, and your target would be the buy side liquidity. And right here we take out the buy side liquidity. For the next example, I have both the Nasdaq and the S&P 500. So right here on both the charts, we have made a consolidation. So now we can zoom out and see if we can maybe make a SMT. So right here we have buy side liquidity and the same over here. So let's see what happens. So right here we take out the buy side liquidity, but on the Nasdaq we failed to take out the buy side liquidity. So this would be our PD array. And as you already see, we have our manipulation move on both the Nasdaq and the S&P 500. You can also use standard deviations on the manipulation move. So as you see, we have the high and then a low. And the reasoning I'm marking out the whole range is because if we go into the 15-minute, you see there is no down close candle right here. And the same with the Nasdaq, as you see. So now we could anticipate price going down into either the -1 to -1.5, where there's sell side liquidity, and the same on the Nasdaq, or go all the way down into the -2 to -2.5 range. So let's see what happens. On the S&P 500, we get a smooth reaction to the downside. As you see, we don't even stop on the sell side liquidity, we go all the way down to the -2 to -2.5 range. So let's see if we can do the same on the Nasdaq. And we does the same on the Nasdaq. So as you see, we have the consolidation, manipulation, and distribution. And the reasoning I've marked out the distribution down to only the -2.5 is because that was where we anticipate price would go. And the same on the Nasdaq. If you were to take a trade entry, your entry would be right when we came back from the manipulation move into the consolidation, and then your stop loss would be at the high of the manipulation move, and then you would target either the sell side liquidity or the -2 to -2.5 range, which will make a 10 risk reward ratio. If you were to take a entry at the distribution, I personally would take a entry right at this fair value gap, because it's right when we shifted market structure from the original consolidation, as you see right here, and then we get a slight reaction to the upside in this fair value gap. So a trade entry would look something like this, where you enter right here, and then you could put your stop loss either above the manipulation move or at the high of this fair value gap, and then you would target either the sell side liquidity or the -2 to -2.5 range. I would only recommend putting your stop loss at a high of a fair value gap if you make a breakaway gap. If you don't make a breakaway gap, I recommend putting your stop loss at above 3 PD arrays. You can also combine a power 3 model with a market maker model. That isn't something that I personally have tested out yet, but I will definitely do it in the future. So as you see, we have our fair value gap right here, or 5-minute fair value gap, and the reason I'm on the 2-minute is because the 1 minute doesn't work for some reason. So this is our fair value gap, and as you see, this could be used as a lowest buy or first stage distribution, and then we could use our standard deviations on it to find out where the second stage distribution or first stage distribution would be. So as you see right here at the -1 to -1.5 range, we have a, a move up to this fair value gap, and then we move lower into the -2 to This wasn't the best example of a market maker model combined with a power 3 model, but as I said before, I haven't tested it out yet, so when I do, I will probably make a video about it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and if there was anything you didn't understand, just comment down below. Also, remember, I have also made my own Discord server, so if you're interested, you can go down into the description and join it.